23 CR 1243, the state of Texas. Is it TIPAM?
TIPAM, sir.
TIPAM?
Yes, sir.
You were here with Mr. Parker, your attorney and the state's attorney. Does the defendant waive a formal reading of the indictment and arraignment? What, can we proceed in summary?
Yes, Judge.
Tell me what's the plan here?
He's pleaded to 2 years TDC.
But he's a habitual felon, right? He's a habitual felon the way this is indicted, and he commits a new offense and we're failing to comply with sex offender, which is what he's registration,
That is correct, Your Honor. The reason that we've decided
Yeah.
to agree to 2 years is
which
the
is
fact.
the lowest of the.
It is, Your Honor. I am honoring an offer that was made by the attorney before me. He agreed to do 2 years because he did comply with his registration mere days after this alleged date that we have in our indictment. On that offense, he received 5 years. So we've offered 2 years on his failure to register.
Don't understand. Is it running? When did all that happen?
He failed, the alleged failure to register was from April 6th of 2023. I believe that the offense date or the beginning of his registration was in 2017. He did comply with his registration requirement on about the 13th day of April of 2023.
Okay. The aggravated sexual assault of a child conviction was when? When for that?
It was in 2009.
Okay, so he has 3 prior felony convictions, right?
That is
At
correct, Your
least,
Honor.
anyway. Okay. I guess everybody feels like that's right under these circumstances.
Yes, Judge.
I'm honoring an offer that was made
You're-
before I was
You don't
here.
have to.
I know, Your Honor, but I think given the facts of this case and given that he did register 5 days after, I think 2 years is fair.
What happened?
Well, I got in a misunderstanding with my aunt, and I just slept for a minute, and I didn't know they sent out the police to go check up on it, and then
Now, why were you late in the registration? You've been required to register since when? 2017? So you've been registering monthly,
I've been
right?
registered every year, so
What happened? Oh, it's annually?
It is annual, Your Honor.
Okay.
every year.
This slipped your mind? Did it slip your mind or did you just, you weren't?
Because I had an argument with my aunt, and then
Well, how did that?
You were a few days, you're like a couple weeks late or a week late on registering. Why'd you miss
yeah,
the
it
date?
slipped my mind, so
It did.
yes, sir.
What is it that helped? What is it that reminds you to do this every year? Because this is for life. This is important and you get charged with a crime if you don't report. What triggers your memory to do it timely?
Yeah,
In there's, you have a parole person or something you deal with?
no, sir.
You're not on parole?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, it's your responsibility nonetheless, to do this timely. And it's the same date every year?
I think so, yes.
Yes, sir.
What date is that?
It's on my birthday, December the 1st, sir.
And you forgot to do that? Okay. Okay.
Well, you understand once you finish this term, you need to go and make sure you're registered and you're current as soon as you get out. They'll do it when you get out.
Yes, sir.
All right, in 23 CR 1243, does the defendant waive a formal reading of this indictment and arraignment? Can we proceed in summary?
Yes, sir.
In summary, this indictment alleges that on or about April 6, 2023 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the third-degree felony of failing to comply with sex offender registration requirements that you were required to do annually for life. Do you understand what you're charged with, sir?
Yes, sir.
This is a third-degree felony, which means you face a term of not more than 10 years or less than 2 years in prison. In addition, a fine may be assessed not to exceed $10,000. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Agreement's been reached where you would be pleading guilty, sentenced to 2 years in prison. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
If I follow this, you have no right of appeal of your case. You understand?
Yes, sir.
How do you plead to this charge?
Sir.
Guilty or not guilty? Go ahead.
Guilty, sir.
Are you pleading guilty voluntarily, that is on your own free will and because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you here what's marked as State's Exhibit 1. Did you sign that document voluntarily? Did
Yes,
you
sir.
understand it? Discuss it with your attorney? Are the contents all true and correct?
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 1 is tendered into evidence
Objection.
without objection admitted. The states you are mentally competent to enter your plea, which is freely and voluntarily made. You know what you've been charged with. The indictment's been read to you. You've read it. You are guilty of the crime charged and any lesser included offenses. You're giving up your rights to a jury trial and the right to the appearance, confrontation, cross-examination of witnesses. You were totally satisfied with the representation provided by your lawyer. All true, so help you God.
Yes, sir.
State's Exhibit 1 is part of the record for all purposes. Pre-sentence report is filed.
Yes, sir.
Nothing further to add. I'm going to find you were pleading guilty today voluntarily. You were mentally competent to do so. You understand the consequences of pleading guilty. There's sufficient evidence from State's Exhibit 1 to support your guilty plea to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And I now so find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this third-degree felony. You were hereby sentenced in accordance with this agreement, the confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 2 years. Do you understand what has happened today, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you really understand?
Yes, sir.
Because anytime you commit a felony above the state jail felony, you're looking at 25 years to life imprisonment. Do you understand that? 25 to life. You've got no room for error. All right. That's we now call 23 CR 1380 Kelvin R. Johnson. That's you?
Yes, sir.
Is he already entered pleas?
Yes, sir.
Yes, when did we do that?
That was on March 4th, 24, 2000.
I don't have it. Because there's nothing marked on that. It looks like a third-degree felony, but.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your
Anything
Honor.
marked on here. I can always do.
Theft and prior offense conviction, prior felony.
Because it starts out as a state jail felony.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But then it's enhanced.
Send it over to March 4th.
Well, it doesn't show what he pleaded true to. Okay, state jail felony. He's got to plead to 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, the
Yes,
whole indictment is what
Yes,
he
sir.
pleaded to.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just
And I believe he's already done that,
to
but
Uh,
yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson, is here with his attorney, Mr. Grover, the state's attorney. Earlier, you pleaded guilty to this indictment, Mr. Johnson. You remember doing that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're just going to go briefly over it. Paragraph 1 of the indictment alleges that you committed theft. Paragraph 2 goes on to state, though, that you have 2 or more prior theft convictions out of county court at law. So paragraphs 1 and 2 constitute a state jail felony, even if you steal a pack of gum
Yes, sir.
because of prior
Yes,
convictions.
sir.
So you pleaded guilty to those prior convictions in paragraph 2 in 2022 and 2023 out of county court at law 2 of Jefferson County, Texas. Are you pleading true to those allegations of prior thefts voluntarily and because those allegations are true and correct as they are alleged?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty to paragraph 1 stating that on or about April 29th, 2023 in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed theft?
Yes, sir.
So thus paragraphs 1 and 2 constitute a state jail felony. But paragraphs 3 and 4 alleged in 2004, you were convicted twice of delivery of a controlled substance in this criminal district court in 2 different cases. Are those allegations as set forth in paragraphs 3 and 4 true and correct as they are alleged?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading true and correct today, voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently, and because all of that is true?
Yes, sir.
And the agreement was set forth that whatever sentence shall not exceed a cap of 5 years in prison. Is that your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
You're going to be asking for probation here, and
Yes, yes, sir.
But paragraphs 1, 2, 3, and 4 constitute a state jail felony punished as though it were a 3rd-degree felony. Thus, you are looking at the term of not more than 10 years or less than 2 years in prison, up to $10,000 in fine, which is by agreement capped at 5 years in prison. So you're really looking at no less than 2 nor more than 5 years in prison, plus probation could be assessed. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
All right. And that was what you agreed to. And whatever I do, as long as I follow this agreement, you have no right of appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Grove.
Basically, Judge, Mr. Johnson has had some recent problems. A lot of these were due to the fact that he was a tranny, didn't have a place to stay. We believe he is taking care of that problem.
How'd you do that? How are you?
I got somewhere to stay at my mama's house now. She put me on a little lease or whatever.
How long has he been in custody, please?
I believe June
June.
2023.
You know, I ain't had no case. I got no trouble, nothing.
You certainly don't when you're in custody.
You get in trouble.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen often, does it? Because it compounds the problem.
Yes, sir.
An agreement has been reached again that whatever sentence shall not exceed a cap of 5 years in prison. A pre-sentence report has been prepared by the probation office. Of the parties had an opportunity to review it. Any corrections or changes to it?
None from the state, Your Honor.
Yeah, and I reviewed it with Mr. Johnson. We have no changes to make to the
It's made,
pre-sentence report.
it's made a part of the record for all purposes. What was stolen here on this occasion?
There was some food items from Kroger. They were actually, he was caught going outside, so they were recovered. But it was some
Food?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Judge, but during
Go
this,
ahead.
this time period, he did have a number of criminal trespasses because he did not have a place to stay. He believes that that has been taken care of.
Yes, sir.
He'll be able to live with his mother. He also has three children, 8, 12, and 14, I believe, that will be able to support them.
How can you do that?
I'll get a job. I was working at Green Man. He the owner of Volkswagen. He let me work for him, Harry Smiley. And I work for a church. Be a bishop, Mr. Morris Jenkins. I cut trees, I do other stuff too. And they'll keep my children too. I won't do that again no more, you know.
How many prior convictions do you have?
Sir,
How many convictions do you have?
just one, it was in 2004, but since then I ain't getting no trouble.
That would be incorrect, wouldn't it?
Yes, Your
Yes,
Honor.
For everybody knows that would be incorrect because I'm looking at your pre-sentence report here, which shows
I believe he's got a 2002 arrest,
Six.
2003
I
for
see.
felony.
I see 3 felony convictions, 8 years in prison for burglary of a habitation. You were placed on probation. That was revoked. Then you were sentenced to 8 years in prison. And also on the day that you were revoked on your probation and sentenced, you were also sentenced to 1 year in the state jail for 2 counts of manufacturing and delivering the controlled substance. So those are-
What time? I mean, how many times I went
so
to the
those are
paint?
3 felony convictions there.
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought you meant how many times I went to the paint.
No, that's, everybody knows what I asked. And I asked how many convictions you had. I bet how many, I didn't say, how many times did you go to
Okay, I
prison?
apologize.
Well, there's a big difference in those words. So you also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 prior misdemeanor convictions of courts of record. So that's 19. Plus you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 17, 24, 44 Class C misdemeanors of gambling, open alcohol container, traffic related offenses, failures to appear, public intoxications, contempts of court, protection order violations, and failure to identify. So when I ask you if you have any prior convictions, I believe your answer was 1. You actually have 63. Your addition was just a little off.
Yes, sir.
That's what's good about having these pre-sentence reports, I guess. All right. Now we know what we're looking at here. Go ahead, David.
Basically, Judge, Mr. Johnson can't deny his criminal history. Again, I would point out that from 2021 to, well, really till 2023, besides this one, the one theft that we're talking about here, he's had some criminal trespass and some other minor charges, minor being that they were gambling and things of that nature. Basically, though, Mr. Johnson believes that he has been able to, will be able to clean up his criminal history. Because he's filed-
How can you clean up the criminal history?
Well, not clean up criminal history, not repeat.
Oh,
Not repeat.
okay.
That's
That's 63
murder.
convictions. That's a lot of cleaning up. That
Yes,
would
sir.
be impossible anyway, of
Yes, sir.
course.
I misspoke, but
He's taken a change of his behavior,
yes,
so
sir.
he says.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And he would be able to
Hey.
follow along with whatever
Yeah.
orders the court
There's a
gives him
box.
to do. And he realizes this is the last time. There's not going to be
The other one.
any other arrests. If the court gives him one last chance. He also would like to address the court at the appropriate
Okay,
time.
go ahead.
First of all, I apologize for what I did do. And if I could take time back instead of going take this stuff out the store, I would take an application to get a job to buy that stuff, you know? And I live and learn. I don't go backwards. And if I get probation, my kids will help me too, because they here for me to take care of them, and I'm not taking care of them being here.
No,
And I'm better than that. I really am.
we can't take care of them when you've been convicted
No, sir.
63 times.
No,
You're
sir.
too busy in prison.
Yes,
And-
sir.
But your oldest child is how old?
13.
Well, you've had that child while you've been committing crimes while you've had that
Yeah,
child.
but It ain't no,
Don't blame. So don't
no, I'm saying. it
don't
ain't no
hide
excuse.
behind your children now.
I'm not.
The day you find out you're going to have a child,
Yes, sir.
you should commit yourself to being a role model.
Yes, sir.
But you hadn't been a role model.
No, sir.
So I want to hear about the children because that's not fair to them.
Yes, sir.
Because your child, you're trying to hide behind your child, and that's not right. You're standing up on your own. Your child has been around for 13 years, and here you are again.
Yeah, but
It's not helping. That child's existence isn't helping you be a better person like children are supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
They need a father
Yes, sir.
who's not acting as a role model.
Yes, sir.
And foremost, you are a role model. Children are gonna pretty much emulate their parents. How are you doing on that?
I'm doing good.
You got 63 convictions.
Besides this, I take care of my kids. I teach.
No, we don't, no, you gotta, besides this,
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, you can feed them and clothe them, but when you're committing crimes,
Yes,
what are
sir.
they learning from you?
Yes.
Okay. It's simple.
Yes, sir.
What are you asking for, Ms. Bell?
Your Honor, somewhere close to the top end of the 5 years.
Anything else from anybody? I think I understand where we are. Here's what I'm going to find, and if nothing further, I'm going to find you pleaded guilty voluntarily to paragraphs 1, true to paragraph 2, constituting a state jail felony, true to paragraphs 3 and 4, prior state jail felonies convictions, which enhance this to a third degree felony punishment, state jail felony. So you put yourself in a position when you go and steal a pack of gum and get caught, you're looking at up to 10 years in prison because of your colorful criminal past. You have pleaded guilty and true voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently. There's sufficient evidence supporting your plea from State's Exhibit 1 admitted at your plea hearing to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this state jail felony punished as a third degree felony. I so find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I am following this agreement, and you are found guilty of the state jail felony punished as under third degree felony punishment for prior convictions. You were hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 2 years. You will be given credit 297 days. You can do the math. You'll see. You'll probably be released pretty quickly here. But the problem is that you're going to be released and you have a prolific criminal record. You need to turn that around.
Yes, sir.
But you've had children for 13 years. They have that hasn't prompted you to do the right. I hope your word, you're committed to your word, because these are all choices that you have made in spite of the fact you have children at home, knowing that pack of gum puts you in prison up to 10 years. Those are your choices. And you're not just hurting yourself, are you? You've got children who rely on you. You're hurting them. How does that make you feel?
Hey,
I would feel terrible, but it's not preventing you from continuing to make bad choices. The problem is, you know what the right choices are. Make them. That is all.
thank you.
2 years. He gets credit. Your name, sir?
Jesse Fairclough.
You were charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle in one case, of legal possession of controlled substance in another case. These are motions to revoke probation? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I have it showing some other cases, Judge. I just want to check to see if we need to resolve those as well. So,
Let me see it present. Oh, there it is.
we're good, Judge. The other cases, he's received a year state jail on those matters.
I don't know what you're saying.
I was double checking. There's multiple. He appeared with Your Honor, I think on 6 cases, if I'm got the numbers right. We disposed of several state jails with a year state jail, and you placed them on probation for 10 years on the 3rd degree as one of the other years. So we've got an agreement to dispose of them accordingly, Your Honor.
Tell me about these in probation. On the safety stuff,
Yes, sir.
which is his big problem, that he completely and totally
Yes,
got
sir.
him into this. And
Yes,
then
sir.
he has quite naturally completely and totally failed on.
Yes, sir. When I first got hired in October 2022, I met Mr. Fairclough. He was unsuccessfully discharged from Zion Center. He came to report to the office, positive for meth. That was the only time he ever reported. After that, he absconded and disappeared. A few months later, they found him. He was offered an opportunity to go to safety relapse. Where he went to safety relapse, he went to the Cheyenne Center. While at the Cheyenne Center, he within the 2-month process, he turned up positive for meth. We were doing the ASR to get him approved for additional 30 days when he came up violation of contraband. The contraband involved was a cell phone with charger, tattoo gun, several pills, 9 batteries, broken metal spoons, red and black electrical tape. Before we can get the ASR authorized, Mr. Fairclough absconded again. So after he absconded again, he never called us, never contacted us. And the next time I saw him after he was arrested, I saw him in jail. And as I explained to him, we was in the prosecuting the ASR approved for another 30 days. You didn't give us a chance. You took off running again. So that's twice that Mr. Fairclough absconded from the program. Twice during the program, he turned up positive for drugs.
Anybody else want to add anything to that?
I think that his behavior is consistent with being addicted on drugs, and meth, as we all know, that's a dragon drug. I mean, people get on that meth and it's hard to kick it.
Gee, I wonder who forced him to do that. Who put a gun to his head and made him become addicted to it? Or was it a series of bad choices? Of course it was. I mean, I don't feel sorry for him. You made a choice just like we all make choices. But we all know better. You do too. You just elected to take the dark side. You decided to dance with the devil. That's your choice. I'm not taking this deal. No, it's just bad. It just is a bad precedent, and he does what he did. That would
Sir, if I could say something?
I'm not finished. Yeah. That would set a bad precedent for others who consistently failed after there's a ton of money spent in the programs that you wasted. There was a ton of time and effort that you wasted, but you didn't do it once, you did it twice, you did 3 times. You are consistent in misbehavior, and you know it was wrong. So most people do all right in the program, but what we do up here, and this is to the people who, like you did, which was thumb your nose at all the attempts to try to help you. The ironic thing is, it seems like others care more about your well-being and your life than you do. You've quit caring a long time ago. You certainly don't care about others and doing the damage you do. And we had a chance to help you get sober on this. But yet, you have more than once fled from the help because that's your choice. You chose to dance with the devil, and now you pay for it. There's a felony here, up to 10 years in prison in one case and up to 2 years in the state jail in the other. I'm just going to set these for hearing on the motion to revoke probations. That's the best way to do it. I think.
May I, Judge?
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate it, Your
All
Honor.
right, get this, I want to set, no, I'm rejecting the plea. We're going to get this set as soon as possible. This is all administrative. Let's
Yes,
get
sir.
this on a fast track.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. That is all.
I think I just got one. So